Welcome to Yogasan for the rest of us. In this early morning flow, we progress through a series of poses that help to strengthen and also stretch and open the hips as we return back to malasana at various points. Let's begin in Tadasana. Hands by your side. Breathe in and out. Bring your hands overhead, palms together down to heart center. Repeat a few times and then come into a forward fold. We lift with a flat back. And repeat this cycle 2 or 3 times more. At your own pace, breathing in and out gently with each movement. Continue on again. Hands overhead. Use a block if you like when you come into halfway lift or into a forward fold. Don't shy away from using props. They are your friend and they will make you stronger when used to help you get into your yoga poses correctly and to hold them a little longer each time. Drop your knees and let's cycle through cat and cow. Inhaling in cow and exhaling in cat. Inhaling again, leading with your chest and exhaling again. Tuck your toes. Gently step back onto your heels and come into malasana. If you're unable to keep your heels flat on the ground in malasana, feel free again to place a block beneath your sit bones to support yourself. Malasana is a hip opener and also it strengthens your ankles. Stay in malasana for 30 seconds if you can, and perhaps a little longer as you get stronger. As you bring your elbows to the insides of your knees, gently push outwards as you bring your palms together. Now still in malasana, lift your hips up and come into a forward fold and sit back down in malasana again. Gently getting a stretch in your hamstrings, your quads, your lower back, and repeat, inhaling and exhaling as you cycle through malasana and a forward fold with your legs slightly apart. Now walk your feet apart a little more, toes facing inwards slightly. Place your hands and your palms flat in between your toes and fold forward. Let your head hang loose as you look down to the ground, and this is a wide-legged forward fold. If this is painful to you, do not attempt it. Use a block to support yourself and place your palms if you need to. Now gently sit into your right hip and engage your left toes with your left leg outstretched. Gently walk to the left side and sit into your left hip and your left heel and engage your right toes. Keep your foot active. Repeat a few times, switching between the left and the right sides. Keep your toes flexed to engage your muscles in the outstretched leg. On the next stretch, see if you can bring your palms together and balance on your bent in the heel on that is sitting on. Now swivel on the right foot, facing forward with your right leg in front, your left leg outstretched at the back, and then drop your left knee and come into Anjaneyasana. The top of your left foot rests on the ground. You can either bring your palms to heart center, or if you feel energized enough by this time, you can lift your hands overhead and bring your gaze upwards. You can feel your legs strengthening and stretching at the same time as you feel the stretch in your left quads. Now tuck your left toes, come up on your left toes, the balls of your left foot, and come into a high lunge. Bring your hands overhead. Take a gentle back bend if you like, and bring your gaze upwards. Or if you choose, just bring your hands to palms to heart center. Sorry. Now, with your palms together, twist to the right side with your left elbow gently resting to the outside of your right knee. Back, and place your right hand on the inside of your right leg and bring your left hand overhead. Take your gaze upwards as your left and your right hands form a straight line. While still balancing on the balls of your left foot. Bring both your palms down to the ground, framing your right foot. Bring your right leg, step your right leg back, come into a high plank. Gently lift your hip, push back, and come into a downward facing dog. Walk your dog. Breathe in and out a few times in the downward dog position. Come back into plank again and return to downward dog. Back in plank. Now this time you cycle through forearm plank and a high plank. So come onto your forearms, the forearm plank, and then lift back up into high plank. Again, go down into forearm plank and lift back up into high plank. Back into downward dog. Get a stretch and some rest. High plank again. Lift your right leg high up in the air at the back. Downward dog. And step in between your hands in the front. Step your right foot in front. Now swivel. Sit into the right hip on the right heel. Flex your left toes as you stretch your left leg out to the side. Bring your palms together. Try to keep your balance. If you lose your drishti, then you will most likely lose your balance. So try to keep your gaze just in front of you or at a focal point where you can maintain your balance. Now gently walk to the other side and sit on your left heel, and swivel to the other side. Drop your right knee. Gently adjust yourself first and then come into Anjaneyasana, resting on supporting yourself on your left with your left foot and with your right knee to the ground. Bring your hands in prayer and to heart center. Then you can lift your hands overhead. Take a gentle back bend. As you take your gaze upwards and stretch backwards. Feel the stretch in your right quads, and you can also feel your left quads strengthening. Bring your palms together again, frame the left foot, tuck your right toes. Come onto the balls of your right foot and come into a high lunge with your hands overhead. Stay here for a few breaths. Breathing in and lengthening your spine on the exhale. Bring your palms together and twist to the left with your right elbow to the outside of your left knee. Looking to the left side. A couple of breaths here. Unwind, come back up, open up your hands, place your left hand to the inside of your left foot and bring your right hand up and overhead. Take your gaze up to your right fingertips. Step your left foot back, come into a high plank, downward facing dog, push back, lift your hips, I'm not sure why I look so serious this morning. It's a beautiful morning actually outside. It's very early and the sun is not yet out and visible. We're cycling through a few rounds of forearm plank and high plank. Try as much as possible to use your arms to lift you up and not the momentum of your body movements. From here, you lift your left leg up and step it in between your hands. Set yourself up gently and walk your hands to the length of the mat and sit to the left side or the left heel. Walk your hands back to center and your feet back and sit down again in malasana. Again, lift up, open your legs out to about 3 feet, your toes pointing outward, bend at the knees and come into goddess with your arms pretending to hold up the weight of the earth. Okay, your palms can face forward or they can face the sky. With every exhale, try to sit a little deeper. Keep your spine straight. Adjust your legs if you need to, and then sit a little lower into your goddess. Always take the time to set up your pose first, get your balance and build your pose from the ground up. Building your balance first with your hands on your hips if needed, and then lifting your hands up overhead or lifting them up to get a back bend. Gently come out of the pose the same way that you went in, gently, and walk your feet together and come back into standing. And your hands overhead, fold forward. Open your legs again and sit down into malasana one more time. Again, enjoying the stretch. Now drop your heels to the ground. Try to come into a wide-legged child's pose, and from there come forward. Open your feet outwards so that your toes are outside, to the outside of your knee, and come into frog. You'll notice that frog looks very different for different people depending on how far you are. You can stretch your feet out to the sides. So work your way gently through this pose. If this is too much for you, you can just stay in child's pose and still get a great stretch. Come back up from here and come back into malasana. From malasana, gently walk your hands to the right side. Swivel to the front of the mat, bend your right knee, place a block in front of you if you need to, and gently step up into warrior 3, resting on your right leg. So in warrior 3, remember, you're not opening your hips out to the side, so only lift your leg as much as you can while still keeping your hips square, that is facing forward. That's as far as my leg will go back up, so without compromising on the pose. Now from here, bring your left leg in front of your right leg, bend at the right knee and come into eagle legs. If you can, hook your left foot around the back of your right calf Now swing your arms and bring your right hand over your left one. Left hand, bend at the elbows. Bring your palms to touch if they can. And sit low into either or Garudasana. Release back into Warrior 3. Gently stepping back. Your left leg. Walking your hands to the center. And then to the left side of the mat with your left foot in front. Bend at the knee. Your right leg outstretched behind you, resting on the balls of your right foot. And gently lift your right leg up into Warrior 3 on the left leg. Bring a gentle micro bend into your left knee. Never hyperextend your knees. Always make sure that there is a slight micro bend in your knees to avoid injury from overextension. From Warrior 3, bring your right knee in front of the left knee. Build your balance first. Stabilize, and then now you want to bring your left elbow over your right. Bring your palms together if possible and lift your elbows up with every exhale and sit a little lower at the same time. Inhale and exhale and get deeper into the pose. Release your Garudasana and come out of the pose. Come into a Warrior 3. Step your right foot back, bend your left knee. Walk your feet out, toes inwards, and then walk them a little closer and sit down from your wide-legged stance or wide-legged forward fold into malasana one more time. Lift your hips and fold forward again, stretching your legs. Gently walk your feet closer and come up to standing with your hands overhead. Bring your palms to heart center. And hands down by your side in Tadasana. Feel your breath, inhaling and exhaling. Now bring your hands overhead, fold forward. Sit back into Malasana one more time. And then gently sit back on your bottom. Stretch your legs out in front. Place your hands by your sides. Spine straight and come into staff pose, sitting staff pose. Now from here gently lean back using your core strength and bring your hands up and parallel to each other in front of your body. Gently lift your left leg, bend at the knee, right leg, bend at the knee. Now stretch your left leg out. Place on the ground again, stretch your right leg out. And repeat. gently bring both your legs out straight and come into boat. You can place your hands below your knees and bend your knees a little bit as you come into supported boat, or you can keep your legs straight with your hands out in front of you by the sides of your knees and come into a full boat. Hold yourself up with your core. Gently release. Come to lie flat on the ground. Stretch your hands overhead. Get a little stretch and a break. And we repeat boat one more time. You can come into supported boat, or you can come into full boat. Come to lie flat on the ground again. On your back. Take your hands over your head and stretch. Now bend your knees. Place your feet flat. Try to bring your fingertips closer to your heels and lift your hips up. Lift from your lower abdomen, core, and your hips up and come to bridge. Inhale, and with every exhale lift a little bit more. Release. And we repeat bridge one more time. This time you can play around a little bit, take some variations like lifting, stretching one leg out, up, and pulse if you like, or you can just stay in bridge and focus on lifting your core and your hips as high off the ground as you can. You may or may not be able to touch your heels with your fingertips depending on how long your arms are. We all have different arm lengths, torso lengths. So work with your body and you know it best. Now with your back flat on the ground, bring your legs up and straight in the air. And from here, gently rock and lift your hips and supporting your lower back with your hands. Bring yourself up to stand on your shoulders in a shoulder stand. Again, do not attempt poses that you haven't done before, and always proceed with caution. From here, bring your legs over to the back in plow pose or malasana. If your feet are unable to touch the ground behind your head, then Keep your hands at your lower back and support them. When you're ready to release, support yourself with your hands on the ground and gently come back, one vertebra at a time, with controlled movements, using your core to bring you back instead of just letting your legs drop back to the ground with the momentum. Come back to lie down on the mat with your back flat. Adjust yourself if you need to. Center yourself back on the mat again. Now from here, bend at the elbows. Place your palm under your butt cheek and lift your chest. And come into fish pose or Matsyasana. This is a beautiful chest opener, stress releaser, and also allows you to rest. While getting a stretch at the same time. Release. Bend your knees, bring them into your chest, hug them close, rock from side to side if you like. Hold your feet, the outside of your feet. Come into happy baby. Rock from side to side if you like, or just stay there as you kick harder towards the sky. You can bring the soles of your feet together. Butterfly, supine butterfly. Now drop your knees to the right side, bring your arms out to either side of your body and take your gaze to the left, look to the left. Take a few breaths here and gently switch over. Drop both your knees to the left side and turn your head to the right. Get a gentle oblique twist. As you end your practice, stretch your legs out in front of you. Let your feet drop to the side, hands to the sides of your body. Breathing gently, close your eyes and come into Shavasana. Remember to rest in Shavasana for at least 3 to 5 minutes. When you're ready, turn to one side, support yourself and come up to seated. Thank you for joining me in my practice today. Namaste.